Hello everyone, this is Vickieverlie, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. Today we're going to take a look at the new moon in Scorpio, which is happening on November 13th of 2023. This is a psychic or intuitive reading, so I do color outside the lines quite a bit. While based in astrology, I often get downloads and messages from my guides as the reading progresses. You can find me at vickieverlie.com. I will never solicit you for readings through social media. And you're watching the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube. Do not be fooled by imposters. If you enjoy this content, I would love it if you'd hit the like and subscribe button and leave me a comment. Okay, let's get into it. So this is going to be the new moon in Scorpio at 20 degrees of Scorpio, 44, happening at 4:27 a.m. Eastern Time, but times will vary. I knew this was bothering me, that this was part of another eclipse, and it was one of the first eclipses in these axes, the Scorpio-Taurus axis. It was at 25 degrees, but it's still, I feel a strong pullback. I feel a strong calling to, which was on May 16th of 2022, so just a couple years ago, like a year and a half ago. I feel a very strong connection to that. Now, that was a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Now, this isn't an eclipse, but it's at very close to the same degree, and I just feel, I've been feeling this strong connection. So much so that I went ahead and looked it up, which many of you watch my videos, you know I usually don't look it up. So I got a really strong feeling that it's this May 16th eclipse, 2022. You may want to think back to what was really going on in my life at that time and what was being released, because it's almost like, because the closest, well, we've got a conjunction to Mars, but what grabs me on this is this 21. It's opposing that Uranus at 21. So it's a new moon, but we're really wanting to be set free. We're really wanting to be, this is the final, like really striking out of that old paradigm, really striking out away from whatever that pattern was during that whole cycle that we've just ended of the Scorpio-Taurus eclipses. And with the aspect to Uranus, there is this giant burst of freedom, this giant burst of release and letting go and starting that new chapter. And, you know, the Scorpio, of course, always the Scorpio energy is the death and rebirth. So you could say, like, this is the rebirth. So that's very strong. Now we've also got, you know, it is conjunct not only, well, it's conjunct Mars for sure, but it's also pulling in the asteroid of Sirius over here at 24 degrees. We've got this 2020, and then we've got 22 Mars of Scorpio, and we've got Sirius at 24. So the Mars used in its best manner can be like, we're really got this energy, drive, ambition. We really have the what it takes, the guides are saying, to get things done and to propel and move things forward. And Mars being the ruler of Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, it really is this kicking off this new beginning in this very powerful way. We also have it conjunct in bringing in the goddess Ceres, the goddess of the grain and food. So with Mars and Ceres together, this would be a really good time for a lot of people to, you know, let's start that exercise regimen. Let's start that new eating thing that we wanted to do. Let's start this new, let's, you know, get some kind of a food thing. Let's try, you know, maybe doing something once a week even, you know, getting that initiative and really getting going. Because there is this drive to, for food and making things better and being aware of the body, you know, what we're putting in the body with the series, you know. It is also in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's not the time that most people start their diets, you know. It's sort of the natural rhythm of things to put on a little bit of weight. You know, you have the big feast in the fall, and then you put on a little bit of weight just to keep you warm as the cold winter nights come through and that. But, you know, it is the sign of the harvest, which is also Ceres. You know, when I did my rock and roll tarot deck, I put Ceres on the Empress card, because that's, I feel it's very, for those of you that are more familiar with tarot, I really put a strong emphasis or connection with Ceres with the Empress card. So it's that fall, it's that abundance. And now we, you know, it's like we've got our canned goods all, you know, we're buckling down. We got our root cellar and our canned goods, and what do we, we got our supplies for the winter. And it can take a lot of work, but it can also be something that can really sustain us over the cold months coming ahead. But it is wanting this freedom. That is the strongest pull that I get. The second thing that's a really cool thing about this is it's trine the Neptune and this beautiful water energy. We've got this nice trine to Neptune over here. The Neptune is the spiritual, the psychic, the spiritual, the dreams. It's a time where we can take these dreams and really initiate them. If you want to go back to like the seasonal thing and kind of the mythology, around the Pluto energy, it is that going down into the underworld when the plants die in the winter. Excuse me one second. Or the plants come into resting. They become interesting, yes, but they come into the resting period, you know what I mean? That's what the guides are saying. They come into sleep because, as Persephone, I believe, is down in the underworld. So there is this taking it to the underworld, and that Neptune is that, not really the underworld, but it's the, the subconscious mind going into the deep, going into the deep, going into that hibernation state, and that incubation, that hibernation and incubation, where we could really, for some, we could be taking something that has been in that state, because this is Mars and everything is so outwardly and supercharged, like by the Uranus. It's like there's a fuse on the end, like on those old cartoons, the Roadrunner, and it sparks up, lights that fuse, and then, off we go. So there is this big burst, but this is very strong too. So you could combine them both, maybe in some cases, or you could get that spark and have that thing that you want to take into incubation, that you want to take into the womb, that you want to take into and cultivate and nurture and add imagination and co-create with spirit, and making that like they're showing me like a big broth of soup or one of those bubble toil and trouble, the three muses, or the three somebodies, but the three witches in the woods. I'm actually recording this on Samhain, All Hallows Eve, so I don't know if that's why the guides are showing me that, but the three Nords, maybe. Yeah, there's quite a few, I think, of the myths of the three wise women, the three crones, in the woods. Or even just look, I haven't seen it this year, but one of my favorite Halloween movies for sure is, no, I can't even think of the name of it, with Bette Midler, and they just made a new one too, and I love it. But anyways, it's always the three crones, and in that case, it was kind of like the maiden mother crone in that movie, but they take for that iconic, the three women, there's that thing. But anyways, I was trying to pull up a screen, and so I could look at that movie up real quick. Let me see here, Bette Midler. Hocus Pocus, there it is. Yeah, that's the one. But you see it a lot, and it's the women cooking up those potions. What potion are you cooking up for your life? What are you cooking up for as we head through the holidays and into the new year? What are you going to take into the underworld, into the the realm of the imagination, and co-create with the universe? What brews and broths and magic potions are you cooking up at this time of year? Because it could be quite powerful and potent. That's what the guides are saying. Yeah. Well, we also, the Saturn is gone direct at this 0 degrees here. It's making an aspect to the Venus, but it's also making a beautiful sextile. So this is this adjustment. We may have to do some adjustments to get what we love and to find the balance. And this is, I've been saying this about Saturn, in Pisces. And it just dipped in, Saturn, and it went, only went a few degrees, and then it went backward again, and it went all the way down to 0. And now here it's like a restart. It's a redo. So we're getting this redo from Saturn, but it's coming up, and it's going to just come closer and closer to the sextile of Jupiter. I'm not sure exactly the day that is, but the orb is, it's coming in, it's coming in. And, a lot of people don't like the combination of Saturn and Jupiter. Oh, Saturn's going to squelch Jupiter's joy or something. But I've never felt that, and I've never seen that, that happen that way. I feel like they can work very well together because, Jupiter's this highest aspirations and the biggest and the best it can be, and Saturn can be a little conservative. But Saturn's not really conservative as much as it wants it to be long-lasting. It wants it to really work. It wants it to be really viable. So I think the combination of the two can give you something really wonderful and perhaps magical that is also very viable. Okay, and this is cool too because of the Saturn in the sign of Pisces, which isn't, a lot of people are poo-pooing that, but it's back to what we were saying about what is this what are you cooking up in that Neptune energy? What are you creating? What is your connection to the divine, higher spirit, in whatever manner? It doesn't have to be all woo-woo, especially with Saturn, because Saturn can bring it into these really grounded practices, these really grounded things, like communing in nature, like being in the woods, things like that. That's Saturn, that's the realm of Saturn. But it also is construction. It is giving legs to, form to, 3D reality to these creative things. So while we're entering into this season, I know really it's the northern hemisphere, because I know you guys in the southern hemisphere are getting all geared up for spring down there, but the Scorpio energy has that, just has that vibe. It just has that autumn vibe to me. This bringing that Neptune, what are you going to be Neptunian? What are you going to be doing that's Neptunian as it's sort of this hibernation period or this incubation period? With Saturn being in this sign and moving direct and then making the nice aspect to Jupiter, it could really become solid. It could really, bring spirit into form, bring imagination into form or matter. There's a bridge that's being formed by this connection. And, sometimes with the Saturn it can be serious and frustrated and, it's just like, oh, work, work, work. But that's where we bring in the beautiful Jupiter energy. Jupiter can bring in this inspiration. Jupiter can, when you do find yourself, what is it? When you find yourself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Yeah, let it be. But that wasn't where I was going with that. If you've never seen my readings here before, the guides will chime in with music all the time because, I'm a lifelong musician and stuff, and it's my language that I understand. Well, it's the universal language that everybody understands, that's the thing. But where I was going with the Jupiter thing is, Jupiter can almost be sort of like the cheerleader, like not get discouraged, still have hope, look on the bright side. That's definitely a Jupiter thing. In the sign of Taurus, too, wanting to make that bridge, wanting to ground it into reality, wanting to make it solid and solidified and real. I've looked at, when I was looking over here at this Jupiter again, I'm looking at the Uranus vertex conjunction. And that vertex, that could be, well, this is only a New York chart, but, that vertex, I'm not sure if the vertex changes, it probably does, for different locations, I'm sure it does, yeah. But, in this chart anyway, that vertex connection, that can be that little bit of magic. That can be that synchronicity, especially when it's joined, because, Uranus for sure brings about that magic, that synchronicity. So that can bring that in where all of a sudden, things are different. It's like you're putting on, they're showing me not I want to say rose-colored glasses, but it's not rose-colored, like the psychedelic glasses, that's what they're showing me. Like they're showing me somebody putting on, these glasses. They're putting on these glasses, and then all of a sudden, ooh, everything's stars and butterflies. But not in a way that's disoriented. The way I drew it there, it looks a little disorienting. But just, you've seen it, like, I believe, like on cartoons and different things. All of a sudden, the Technicolor. You put on the glasses, the Technicolor dream glasses or something. Yeah, so there could be that cool little magical element for sure. We still have these nodal things going on, and we've got the nodal square to Pluto. This is an ongoing thing. We're wanting to bring about our healing, but when are we wanting to bring it about? Now. That's what the Aries. When do we want it? Now. We want to get our healing, but we want to, it's not even get our healing, but that it can be, that's kind of the vibe, the energy that I got off of it. But it could also just be, let's deal with it now. Let's not keep brushing things under the rug. Let's deal with it now. With this beautiful trine to the Neptune, it can be brought out in maybe a gentler way, Things could be brought out. And then with the Mars and then the Chiron Aries energy, because the Mars is the ruler of that, it's like we could have the courage. We could really have that courage. You can find that courage to muster up to do whatever you have to do. I mean, sometimes there's many hard choices in life. And coming off the wavy, they're showing me all the crashing waves and all the wild water and waves and everything of the eclipses. This can be, we want to, this is like, okay, this is the new moon. Now we're going to set our new course. And now, we're going to be brave and we're going to make that move. Maybe there was chaos that occurred during the eclipses. But I'll tell you, that Taurus one, I was shocked because I had such beautiful aspects, trining my sun, filling in my sun Uranus grand trine in my chart. I was like, woohoo. It was all kinds of, it was sextiling my Jupiter. It was all good, I thought. And wow, it was pretty, there was three pretty drastic things that went on over those couple of days. It was really leading up to the eclipse. It was three pretty, disruptive things that came up. Kind of Uranian things, I guess, kind of out of nowhere. But, yeah, I was surprised. So I think a lot of us, whether it was the first one, October, was it 14th, and then, or the second one of October 28th, I think all of us, had some, shake-ups. There was that song, shake down, down, everybody, down, shake down, you're busted. Yeah, I busted somebody for sure. But anyways, now it's like, okay, now I have the courage or the bravery or the drive and ambition or whatever it is. Now that everything's kind of so, the Mars energy is very prevalent, because it's conjunct the eclipse, but also because of this Chiron North Node in Aries. If you're not following, it's because first house Aries, Mars are all, Mars rules over Aries. So it's the same energy. It can be very, expressed the same way a lot of times. So this Aries energy, is really given a big boost. And Aries, again, being the first sign of the zodiac, and, this Mars energy, it's like, it's very powerful to start new beginnings. We're having that. And it's also can be very single-minded, And we've got all this stuff down here. We got the part of fortune, another kind of like the vertex, another little point in the chart. But we've got the South Node with the part of fortune and Pallas. So Pallas, Pallas is a warrior, but Pallas is also this brilliance. I think of Pallas very much along the lines of Uranus. I really do, and it's making that that aspect of the. It's not a semi-sextile, I always forget it, but it's similar. There's friction, there's an adjustment to be made. There's, in the South Node, so it's like reconciling with our past, it's letting go of things in our past, it's finding that Libra, it's finding the balance. They're showing me the scales, so they're saying, it's the karmic justice, the karmatic justice, because of the scales, Which, most people don't think of Libra like that, and I tend to not either, but if you just go with the symbolism and and in the Justice card back to the tarot, the Justice card in the tarot can be karmatic justice often. It does mean that. So there is this element of this karmatic justice. I guess you could say that always with the South Node. The South Node is the things we're done with karmically, and we're letting go of and we're releasing. You know, what I'm getting from this just now is like this hive mentality too, because the Libra is always like the partnerships, but it's always it's me. Aries is me, and only me, and then the Libra 7th house is the others. So it can be like maybe letting go of some of this tribal hive mentality and thinking for ourselves, like truly thinking for ourselves, not saying you're thinking for yourselves, and that do your quote-unquote research, which is just going and finding somebody else who wrote a blog or something that corroborates your opinion, and it doesn't mean necessarily, I'm gonna broaden my horizons, think outside of my narrow mindset because you told me to. I'm not being weak or succumbing to your pressure, But I'm just going to step back and stand away from the crowd for a minute here and say, everybody should be doing their Byron Katie stuff, right? Is it true? Is it really true? That kind of thing. Really questioning. That came up in somebody's reading here lately. Doing that Byron Katie thing, the work. Yeah, Saturn wants you to do the work too on your subconscious, but I mean, maybe that's not your jam. There's all kinds of modalities and different things out there, but again, having a voice. These little bugs, and it's right where I can see. He's taunting me. He's on the camera. Might shake the camera, but I gotta get him. A little bugger. Sorry, Charlie. I usually don't kill bugs. It's not a fruit fly. It's these little, I don't know what it is. But I had to get him. He was taunting me. So I'm a bug killer. Bug killer! Normally I'm never a bug killer. I'll get the spiders, I'll get everybody, and I'll get them, take them outside, or I just tolerate just little spiders in the bathroom. They don't bother me. But anyways, what were we talking about? Yeah, we were talking about, not being so influenced by the tribe, or letting the tribal thing kind of letting it go, maybe, but kind of just examining it is more where I'm going, I think, because Scorpio definitely, it's a and with the Neptune, the Scorpio will examine something. A lot of psychiatrists and everybody in the mental health field, a lot of readers, and a lot of Scorpio, that's Scorpio energy, wanting to delve into that, what causes it all, get to the root, get to the underbelly, find that underlying cause, figure that out. That's they're definitely, that Scorpio energy carries that too. But what are we releasing? Trying to be one of the crowd. Going more into the Aries energy of being our own and having our own opinions. But also we don't, not being like a rebel without a cause. There's that element sometimes. And with the Mars, it can fuel that anger stuff, and Scorpio can be somebody who can, if you've ever seen a Scorpio temper, they do have it, but they don't, it's not easily riled, but when they have it, they have it. They can, just turn, I've seen them, and they just turn, like they're possessed almost. I mean, that's, possessed is a strong term, but you know what I mean, like their whole demeanor and their whole face, their eyes change, like, something comes over them. And they can go into some serious rage kind of stuff. That's what I'm getting at. And the Mars is the rage, expressed negatively. I love my Scorpios. And my best friends have always been Scorpios. And I have a ton of Scorpio. I'm Scorpio rising. And I have a ton of Scorpio in my chart. But I've certainly seen that side. Because I have so many Scorpio friends and stuff, I've seen that side. I've seen that happen. But where are we going with that? Yeah. So this rebel without a cause paradigm, we don't want to go there and just be a warrior for, because you have anger and other things, really getting to the root of it all, and really diving in. And with the Iran, then you can be free of it, then you can actually be free of it. Then you can be free, and then you can be, do that death and rebirth, because ultimately that is the Scorpio thing. It's the death and rebirth. It is the phoenix rising from the ashes. That is the Scorpio. Very closely related to the Scorpio. And its highest expression is the eagle. It's soaring like the eagle. You don't want to necessarily be that stinging Scorpio. And combined with the Aries energy, the Mars energy, that stinging Scorpio energy, it could manifest. But, we're always trying to go for the highest thing. And being aware of these things, is how we can steer our life, or steer our thoughts, or steer our actions in the way of the highest expression whenever at all possible, right? Yeah. All right, I'm going to throw this up on here one more time because there's just been slews of imposters. You're watching me. You can find my readings. I am offering the year ahead reading if you're interested in that. Most popular reading of the year. Many are ordering it. Thanks to everybody who's ordering it. I'm having a blast doing them. It's astrology. We go over the main transits for the year for you. I don't run your chart. I just do a quick grab of your planet placements in the ephemeris. But then it's a psychic tarot reading too. And then even I throw in an animal totem too. So it's a cool, fun reading, very affordable if you're into it. I'd love it if you if you enjoy this content, hit that like, subscribe, and do all that interacting with the YouTube algorithm, which helps get my readings out there to more people, and hopefully people will like it and enjoy it. And if you did, I wish you would leave a comment or a like or something. Hit that subscribe. Any kind of interaction is always appreciated. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. One more time, that other one was when we started on this round of eclipses, the first Scorpio one, and it's not an eclipse, but it does feel like it's like really tying a bow on the whole time frame that started somewhere in the spring. Well, particularly May 16th, but spring of 2022. And now we're really breaking free and heading out in this new direction. Or there's the power to do it, okay? The power or the energy is with you to do just that, okay? All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk again soon. Have a great one. Bye.